Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching. The 214 Sports Show, everything Dallas sports. Every Thursday at 11. This is my co host, Joseph Duffy. I'm TJ Krulowitz. It is a pleasure to see y'all today. Joseph, how are you doing today?
Doing swell on a nice Wednesday morning. We're recording this. I wish it could have been a better outcome this past game for the Dallas Mavericks, but we'll see where they go from here. Been a wild past 2 weeks.
And a wild game that was, especially from the stands for fans. We'll be talking about that, and we'll be discussing a lot about the Dallas Mavericks in this episode for sure. But before we get into everything, I do want to just kind of get start on a light note. Something that always makes us feel a little bit better. And this will be the on today's date in Dallas sports history. I'm going to say this goes all the way back to the amazing year of 2012, 2013 Dallas Mavericks. Man, take me back to this year. Even when we're 41 and 41, it still feels better than
I'm
what
about to
it
say
is
that was
right
an
now.
average year. Yeah.
The Dallas Mavericks, they go to 23 and 29 on the season with a big home win against the Sacramento Kings. Wish we could have done that a couple days ago, but this was 12 years ago. Um, the Dallas Mavericks, they won by a final score of 123 to 100. Can you guess the leading score, Joe, of this game from 2013 between the Mavs and Kings?
From the Mavs or just both teams?
It's
Same as
both
last
teams,
time?
but I'll give you a clue. It is a Mavericks player.
Oh my Lord. Let's just go with Dirk.
I knew you would guess Dirk.
I have to, bro.
Wrong.
Dang, bro.
The answer is Vince Carter. 26 points and
Oh my
23 minutes,
Lord.
made six of his nine three-pointers, 9 for 15 from the floor. Great scoring day for Vince Carter
Half
of this
man,
game. The second leading scorer,
half
Tyreek
amazing.
Evans for the Kings at 23. No one else scored over 20 points this game. Darren Collison, 18 points, 9 assists. Dirk Nowitzki, 17 points, 8 rebounds. OJ Mayo went 0 for 7 from three this game.
These names take me back, bro.
Just a couple
Darren
interesting
Collinson,
notes.
Tyreek Evans, bro. I hope
I
he's
know,
doing better because I don't
I
think
know.
I think he was going through some stuff a few years ago.
Yeah, and looks like, I mean, my goodness, this Sacramento Kings lineup: John Salmons, Jason Thompson, Isaiah Thomas, DeMarcus Cousins, Tyreek Evans. Just a very interesting starting lineup, man. Some of these names that I'm hearing right now: Jimmer Fredette was a player in this game as well. Travis Outlaw, funny poll. Bernard James was a starter for the Mavericks. But anyways,
Bernard James,
yeah, Sarge. I
my
remember that name.
God.
But anyways, I think the next thing we're gonna do before we get into the Dallas Mavericks and everything that sucks about them right now, I'm gonna share my screen real quick so we can play some Hurdle. I don't know if we did this last week.
We did
Uh,
not.
so let's get this going real quick. I hope you can see it, right, Joe?
I can see it, yeah.
All right, all right. Oh, and by the way, it's the 56th episode of the 214 Sports Show. I have dedicated this episode to Sergey Zubov, number
Sergey
52 from the Dallas
Zubov.
Stars. Retired his jersey number, I believe, in 2022, very, very recently. So dedicate this episode to him and his retired jersey with the Dallas Stars. Um, First guess and Pirtle. I feel like it's I, let's go with you always got to go with the Mavericks player. I would say let's start off. I usually go with the White Powell. Let's go PJ Washington.
Deuce McBride after.
West player, not in the
Come on.
Southwest. So Northwest or
You
Pacific.
think they've updated this stuff yet?
They
Like
probably
for
have.
trades?
I bet you they would have. I mean, we can guess Luca right now. I mean, he would be 25 years old. This would be a horrible
But he's
guess, but
not. He's still 77, right? So,
yeah. Um,
uh,
I think so. It'd be 6'8" or 6'9", probably or going to be 25 or 24. So a young wing player. I want to say like Jalen Williams. on the Thunder, maybe.
Could, yeah. Because he counts as a Pacific
He has a
Northwest player, which is
single
kind of
digit
crazy.
number. I don't know if
No,
that's
no, no, no,
through.
no, no, that's the light skin one.
That's the light skin one?
Yeah, Jalen.
Yeah.
The
No,
one
that's what I was
LIN is the
thinking.
tall
That's
light
what I
skin.
was thinking. Hey, it still was a good guess, but it doesn't matter
I
anymore
think it's
because,
JALEN.
and this is so stupid. So stupid.
Two J Wills.
So we know it's Pacific though.
J Dub.
So Suns, Kings, Warriors, Lakers, or Clippers. I'm gonna
Hmm.
be thinking of these LA teams real quick. Any of them got a young wing? Uh,
Does Dalton Connect count?
that'd be a good guess. 23. So
See,
this
is
guy
he,
has to be 24. Dalton's 23. We could just guess him and see. Not a bad
bro?
guess. Not a bad guess.
The poor
Six.
guys. They say he's trying to process going back to the Lakers after the trade was rescinded.
He
Pro
looks so sad on the bench, man. I
process.
was saying that last night. I'm like, poor guy. I mean, he's an NBA player. He's not poor, but
Poor guy.
uh,
Rich guy.
rich guy. The Kings, man. Who the hell are on the Kings? Is this like Keegan Murray?
Could be Keegan Murray, yeah. Yep. Keegan!
Murray.
God, I love that. I love that, bro. Every time they do
All
it.
right. Hopefully, y'all haven't been hearing this truck going around picking up trash in the driveway right here.
I kind of have the same sound too going around
My goodness,
around
man.
me. Construction in front of me like every single day, bro.
I,
They've been
I
working for
think
like
they
a
do this
year.
at the least convenient time. It's just like they got to figure out when to do it at the worst times, and that's when they find out to do it.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but you know what's even more ridiculous is this current state of the Dallas Mavericks.
Yep.
Um, we have not seen the result of the Golden State Warriors game with the new team of Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry. They will be playing Kessler Edwards at center probably with these current injuries. So the Mavericks, they're currently 28 and 26. They are going into the All Star break very, very injured. Seems like this is kind of like a yearly situation for the Mavericks. They seem to really always stack injuries ever since Jason Kidd became a coach. I'm not trying to say there's any correlation or any coincidence, but it feels like since Jason Kidd took over, there's been a lot of injuries on the Mavericks side throughout the regular seasons. But now we know that Gafford, who was our last standing center, will be out for at least 2 weeks getting reevaluated. And we have now heard that the very bad malpractice of the Luka Doncic Anthony Davis trade from the Mavericks side has gotten even worse as he is going to be out for months now. Don't know if he'll be back for the regular season. Don't know if he'll even be back for the postseason if the Mavericks surprisingly make the postseason. So uh, I really don't know what to ask you, Joe. There's just not really a lot to ask. It's kind of already been asked. The Mavericks are in really bad shape, and they are not gonna have anybody really save their season right now. Um, and they're getting embarrassed. I don't know, Joe. What are your current thoughts on the Mavericks? I guess.
Yeah, look, that debut of Anthony Davis in the Rockets was explosive. He's saying, I'm here. This is what, I came here for. I'm still a Hall of Fame player. You gave
Wrong.
off you gave off a young player to the Lakers and you brought back another Hall of Fame player and me. I'm here. Cheer, let's go. We're still in this, right? And then he takes that one bad step and we're like, here we go. Literally, everybody knew this was going to happen. Every single person knew this was going to happen except Patrick Dumont and Nico Harrison somehow. Every single person knew, this guy who's been riddled with injuries these past few seasons, especially the last 5 years, and had, a little bit more healthy seasons these past 2 years, he's going to deal with some kind of injury somehow. And we're getting an aging vet in return for the young phenom that you trade off to the LA Lakers, what could go wrong? Went wrong, and not even in a full game, dude. Not a full game. Gets hurt the first game. Balling. Doing everything he should do as a Hall of Fame center.
Oh yeah.
Was balling. Doing literally everything I wanted. The defense was looking pretty spectacular. Going against a young Rockets team that's been pretty good this season, but reeling at the time. Taking advantage of, what they were doing in that game. And it just sucks, man. And I'm not even surprised. Like, I really am not even stunned at all by the injury news. I just hate to see it for the guy because he's such a solid person and he doesn't deserve the vitriol that he's gotten because it's not directed at him at all. It's directed at the front office and he's had to
Right.
deal with, the brunt of it. So it's not his fault at all, but it's just more of the blame you could put on this lousy front office that for some reason has just turned their back out of nowhere on the fans. I still don't understand what is going on. It's looking more and more like they were fully conscious of what was going on. That there's nothing else to really tell from the Luka Doncic angle. They keep trying to assassinate Luka's character, which absolutely sucks. Patrick Dumont trying to talk about work ethic as he sits there on the sidelines getting booed to death, looking like he's never played a sport in his life. Trying to talk about work ethic, bringing up players like Shaq, who is notorious for not having a good work ethic when talking about why he would trade a guy like Lucas saying he's not fit for the culture of the Mavs. It's just infuriating, man. And you saw it last game with the Kings before this episode was uploaded, excuse me. Because that Kings game was just depressing, man. And right there, that could have been a game that Luka Doncic could have taken over. Right there. A home game in the final 2 minutes that shouldn't have gone to overtime, frankly. But DeMar DeRozan was playing hero ball and saved the day for the Kings. That was a game that Luka could have really clutched for this team. And you see immediately, it felt like, a pre-Luka Mavs game. That's what I kind of said on my Twitter. It felt like a 2017 Dallas Mavericks game where I'm not even shocked by the disappointment in losing a game like that because that's the games you need. So that's all I have to say so far.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like there's not a single thing that this organization can do right at this point. Their PR attempts have been absolutely awful and have just tried to shape Luca as this horrible, lazy POS. And it just doesn't make sense,
Doesn't
like
add
he
up,
was he
bro.
was Dallas in a city that the Cowboys dominate. He was Dallas, and he all of a sudden is just like this horrible Satan, like he's just
The
Satan at
spawn
this
of
point.
Satan, bro.
Like I don't understand. You have him asking if he's getting booed at the game, Patrick Dumont, that is. You have fans getting kicked out of the game, mouthing Fire Nico at the big screen, which was amazing, by the way. That
Hilarious.
was honestly hilarious. It was perfect execution.
Some students were started at SMU game too. He tried to pull up at a SMU game to recruit
Hmm.
and look ahead, and they were booing him too.
But it just feels like this franchise can do nothing right in a sense that we have had so much. The GM and the governor have quite frankly ruined this team. They have quite frankly destroyed it and have not been able to recover from it, have not been able to put out anything to give them any good standing in the public eye. They keep on making it worse. They keep on putting out comments that make this situation worse. They're contradicting themselves now. There's now reports saying that they reached out to Milwaukee and Minnesota about Giannis and Anthony Edwards for a trade with Luca, when it was initially reported that they had only reached out to Rob Pelinka and the Lakers. So what's going on now? Why are we contradicting? Are we trying to save face? Are we trying to what's going on? And Dumont with his comments, I don't know who gave him the green light to talk. He should have never opened his mouth at all. He obviously has no clue what the sport basketball is. It's unbelievable. You have a courtside seat, dog. You should understand what the sport is about. You should understand work ethic. You obviously don't go in the locker room if you're talking about culture and work ethic because Luca, I mean, you see those photos from the finals. This guy was killing himself playing for this team. All right, I don't you are blinded. You are blind and you are right there. You can see everything 100 times better than me. And I can tell you what's going on 100 times better than you. So I don't,
I mean, look at him during that Western Conference Trophy presentation, dude. Looks so out of
just
place.
took the
Look like
whole
he's
stage.
never. I couldn't. I could not believe like that was his first time that I had seen him like in front of the team at the time. He looked so out of place. He was so awkward. It was like he's never even stepped on a court, bro.
Right. He doesn't
And
look like he's really committed. He doesn't, yeah.
he married into a casino heiress's family, bro, and got a position immediately. So he's trying to act like he's this rags to riches story, bro, of work ethic. You are not even that guy, bro. How dare you
Oh,
try to assassinate this guy's character? A son
yeah.
of Dallas, and you just ship him off. I've yet to hear a valid reason why. It's just
No,
more character assassinations of a guy that people loved and that made our team our team. Guys were flocking to Dallas because of him. And you send him off for a guy who was already hurt. Not
yeah.
surprised though.
My goodness. It's like,
It's like it's comedy right now. There's no
it's
way it's
comedy.
real. There's no way this is real life. I keep
It's
wanting to
straight
slap
comedy.
myself, man.
And we all saw the fans at the Sacramento Kings game and all the talks about the Fire Nico, which we already mentioned on the big screen, and all the fans getting kicked out. And now Mark Cuban is getting into it and
Huh.
yelling at fans and stuff and saying that it was because, and he's lying on Twitter. There's people exposing him on Twitter now and talking about how he's like, well, I was yelling at fans to shut up because they were yelling "Fire Nico" during our free throws, and other fans were booing him. That's what was happening. The other fans were booing him for saying "Fire Nico." So I was telling him to respectfully shut the f up. I was not yelling or anything. I
Yeah.
was just doing. I was just trying to help the team out. No, you weren't, Mark. You're being an asshole too. It's this is and it's so funny because I've heard people say that this is like a fascist organization right now. They're running a fascist organization, and it's like true. It's true. I mean, where's the code of conduct being broken? They're yelling "Fire Nico." They are a paying customer. They are trying to voice their displeasure with the organization as they're paying for the organization, and you're kicking them out. This team sucks. They have ruined this team. This team is dead. The Dallas Mavericks are dead. There's no coming back until they leave. Dumont and Nico Harrison
Yes.
have to leave and sell the team now to save their face. They will forever be known as the worst ran organization in NBA history, maybe even sports history. I compared it last week to the Babe Ruth trade. I'm still sticking by that. This is the
Compare.
worst trade in sports history.
Can you explain your experience as you went to the Rockets game, the first game, home game since that Luka trade? You got to explain what you were saying, how it felt to even be there.
Yeah, I mean the protest outside was hilarious. It didn't seem like anything that was super meaningful. But going there, it was just like any other game. I feel like a lot of the fans, there were people screaming "Fire Nico" and all this stuff. They weren't showing the fans on the jumbotron, of course, fascist organization. Um, but I mean, it was so electric to watch Anthony Davis play. I mean, he had Sengun in jail that first half. I was laughing my ass off in the stands thinking I had to look up if Sengun made the All-Star game because I was so confused. I'm like, there's no way this guy's an All-Star. He's getting put in jail. He literally is he literally is just getting destroyed by Anthony Davis. Of course, he goes off when Davis gets hurt, and then looks like an all-star. But Anthony Davis made Sengun look like the end of the bench guy on a team. So bad. And that was his defense. The franchise got a record for blocks. And then of course he also had like 26 points on offense and was making almost every shot in that first quarter, was knocking down his 3-point shot, was getting inside, finishing lobs, being able to finish fadeaway jumpers. I mean, he was literally the complete package. He was the complete package there. And that looked like this team was going to be really, really good this postseason. And so now we've lost that in
We
just
can't
one
have
game.
anything. Can't have anything.
But yeah, no, I mean that was my experience at the game is that it was extremely electric and there was actually like there was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun until PJ and Anthony Davis couldn't return to the game and now we're struggling to keep our lead against the Rockets. Um but I wouldn't say that there was anything really uh super crazy from the game. They kept it really under control there. The Kings game was definitely seems like that's when shit started to hit the fan for fans.
Yeah. I
Um
mean, that Fire Nico guy, that was the first time I believe they showed people on screen um since Luka was traded because you were talking about the fascist part. I didn't even realize that until that guy got kicked out, but they weren't showing anybody on screen like you were saying. And that guy finally gets on screen, says fire, mouths Fire Nico, and still gets tossed out. Kind of odd dealing that's going on with the Mavericks right now. And
Major respect to that guy.
like I was saying, man, like everybody except Dumont and Harrison knew this guy was gonna get banged up at some point, and it brings up the topic of medical malpractice from the Lakers and Mavs standpoint.
Hmm.
It's gotten, Adam Silver to get some calls. Like, man, what are you gonna allow this to happen? Are you gonna fine, the Lakers for like not disclosing or the Mavs for accepting this nonetheless, knowing that the guy was hurt, even though like they were trying to say he was healthy? I mean, this left abductor strain, which is obviously part of the groin. It's so hard to deal with it when you're a big man. And seeing that one step man being non-contact, he's saying he's avoiding surgery right now. So he's gonna probably try to make a stab at it at the end of the season or if they make the playoffs. But boy, oh boy, disastrous right now in Dallas, Texas. Just
Yeah.
sad.
And I think the one thing that we haven't mentioned, which is probably the worst, is that which was seeing Dirk at the Luka game.
Oh my, that's
Um,
my
that
God.
that hurt. That
That
hurt.
hurt.
That hurt a lot. Yeah, I couldn't even watch that game. I'm not turning on
I
a
couldn't watch
Lakers
it either.
game for the rest of my life
I couldn't watch it either.
unless they're playing the Mavericks. It's going to be too difficult for me to watch Luca have fun on the Lakers. It's like, and I was reading a Mavs Moneyball article earlier today, and it's the perfect thing. It's like I felt like my girlfriend left me for a better looking dude, and I'm just sitting in my apartment right now. Like that's what it feels like. He just left us for the amazing Lakers, and we have nothing to show. Like we're just screwed. We're just sitting in our apartment by ourselves, you know, flipping through channels. Um, it's just, yeah, it's really bad. I don't know. I don't know what else to really talk about the Dallas Mavericks. It feels like it's done. You know, there's not enough fun. I was watching the Kings game. We had Kessler Edwards playing at center in overtime. There's just no fun. There's malpractice top to bottom. I'm not saying Jason Kidd's a bad coach. I think he's a great coach in preparing his players for games. I don't think he's a good X and O's guy. I don't think he's shown multiple times that in close games he has not been able to pull up a play to win a game. He has shown that he's just not that good in clutch situations. I tweeted about this on the 214 Sports Show. There is no reason Spencer Dinwiddie should have been on DeMar DeRozan for that final possession. Why was Dinwiddie matched up with him? I get we have no center, so maybe Najee Marshall's the tallest guy on the court. You got to put him on Sabonis. Dinwiddie is not who you put on DeRozan. I don't care how short staffed we are. He has almost 40 points when he's almost 40. And he's been on Spencer Dinwiddie all game. And you decide to put him on him again for the final possession. You knew you were going to double him, but still, I mean, it's just like, what the hell are we thinking here?
Split that double team so easy.
Oh yeah, and some people want to say
A
travel. Look,
piece of
it's
cake.
whatever. I don't care about it. Yeah, I mean, great defense. This is defensive Mavericks.
It's over, bro. It was 8 months ago. Think about it. Eight
At
months
least the
ago.
culture's better now.
Yeah, the culture's better. We got hard workers now.
Yeah, we have hard
8 months
workers.
ago. Eight
We have
months
hard
ago in
workers.
the finals, bro.
They're always
Eight
in the
months.
training room. They're
Yeah,
always in
they're
the
always
training room.
first guy and last guy out kind of team. Now they can get that sloppy fatty off of our team and look at Doncic.
It's they're all getting injured more than any other NBA teams because they're working harder. That's the thing. It's just a simple wear and tear. It's rockets. It's not rocket science. Look, they're
Yeah,
playing
also,
harder than everyone else. That's why they're
yeah,
getting hurt more than anyone else.
let your trainer go also to New York to follow your former point guard, your former trainer who used to work with the best in the world, not just the freaking NBA, an Olympic trainer who's worked with talent all across the world, and not let him treat your players anymore and proceed for them to all get hurt. Just embarrassing, dude. All around embarrassing. I can't believe I'm actually a fan of this team. That's all I got to say.
Well, let's move on to the Dallas Stars. Yeah, the Dallas Mavericks. We will be back next week to talk about them, and it probably won't get any better. But it's hopefully this All Star break will give us some time to finally rest from this team. Hopefully, Nico and Patrick don't decide to do some horrible PR to try to save face and make it even worse. Um, but we'll see. So the Dallas Stars, they're also already on their All Star break. I just wanted to give a quick chat about the Dallas Stars. There's not really too much to talk about them as they won't be playing again until I believe the 22nd of February. Um, but they're going into the Four Nations face off. I'm really excited about the Four Nations face off. It starts tonight, actually, on Wednesday, between Sweden and Canada. The Dallas Stars, they will have Mikael Granlund, their newly acquired player from the San Jose Sharks, on the Finland team, along with Rupe Hintz. And I think that's it. Esa Lindell, I don't think made the cut. Mira Heiskanen, of course, is hurt now, not going to be playing for Finland. And then the United States still have Jake Ottinger as a backup goalie. He probably won't be seeing the ice all tournament, but he is on the team. Of course, Connor Hellebuck from the Winnipeg Jets is going to be the starting goalie for the United States. And he deserves it. He's by far the best goalie in the league and has been for the last couple of years. So, yeah, I mean, it's an exciting time for the Dallas Stars, especially when you add in the aspect of the Dallas Mavericks. I just saw the recent power rankings with them being third from Bleacher Report. I don't really trust Bleacher Report. They're not the best ball knowers, but they did put the Stars third. Um, it's just tough. It's tough. They really are one of the better teams in the league, but they won't win their division. I'll say it right now. I don't think they come back against the Jets. I think the Jets um, have this division kind of locked up, the Central Division right now. I believe they're about 8 games above the Stars with uh, the Stars have less than 2 games, but it's not looking too good for them. They'll still finish the season off strong, I believe, and hopefully they'll have a great run. But that's really it. They're going into their All-Star break. Not much to talk about. The trade deadline is early March, so we'll see if the Stars are done or not done with their acquisitions. So
Do they plan on doing this forever, like in the future for All-Star breaks? No more All-Star games, just face-offs?
no, the Four Nations face-off is just the kind of it's the prepare for hockey to be back in the Olympics.
Ah, okay.
Kind of getting
Well,
attention for that. So
low key it'd be awesome if they did it every single time, but yeah. Sweden and Canada should be a good matchup. Looking forward to that. I might watch that tonight.
I
Well,
think
by
so.
the time
I
this
think I
airs,
will.
it'll all be.
I
Yeah.
won't have anything better to do. So
Yeah,
I
either
think
that or you want to watch the Mavs travel to Golden State. Or are they welcoming Golden State?
yeah, they're welcoming Golden State on ESPN. You can watch the ESPN reporters just try to save the Mavericks. Be like, well, look, that Anthony Davis is a top 5 player in the league. Look, this trade is not. They're gonna say a bunch of bullshit about the Mavericks. I miss
A call will be
Man,
made.
Mark Followell.
That dude, you talk about a real one. Mark Farwell, that is a GOAT, right? That's a guy who is great at his job, but understands fans. Why? Because he grew up a fan. He is from the area. It's different when you come from like, outside and get the job with an organization, but he's really grown up in Dallas, been a fan his whole life, and it's been hard just for him. I mean, just as hard for him as well as us. So imagine having to commentate that game on Saturday against Houston, acting like nothing's wrong. and just try and do your job. Like act like there's always just 100% hope and stuff, and having to compensate an injury eventually, and it's hard to watch, man. We got
Yeah,
to move on.
we absolutely have to move on. And so we're moving on in this podcast too. Real quick, Joe, you think the Cowboys trade Micah Parsons?
Bro, I cannot believe that rumor, personally. They better not, but knowing Dallas sports, I don't know, dude. I'll
Oh
never
my
say
gosh.
never. I'll never say never anymore.
If you were to tell me that Luca and Micah would be on different teams just a year ago, I would
Oh my God. Micah's heading to
toast.
Philly, bro.
Somebody
Some
give
way,
me
he's
the
heading back
robe,
home.
man. My goodness.
Another 25-year-old, by the way.
Another 25-year-old and somebody that's very valuable to the Dallas Cowboys. Um, yeah, I mean we'll see. It's so funny to watch all these Dallas teams struggle to make money. Oh my God, we can't sign our star players. We can't sign Luca to the Supermax. We don't know if he'll commit to it. We don't know if he's good enough. We don't want to spend all this money on him. It seems like almost every other team in every other league just seems to spend money with no problem. The
Meanwhile, yeah,
Mavericks,
the Super
Cowboys,
Bowl Eagles,
they're
yeah, they
always
get
just
everybody.
struggling. They're always just reaching into their pockets trying to find an extra penny in there. I don't understand this happens so much. It happened with the Rangers this past season too. Of course, it was because of the TV deal, and we don't know if that's excuses or not. But it's yeah. I mean, these teams become so cheap in Dallas. It doesn't make sense. Micah Parsons should be a Cowboy for life, or at least should be a Cowboy for a good foreseeable future. Um, and it's weird to think that that's somebody that we decided, hey, we can't sign him to a major deal. We might need to trade him. We did not say that at all about Zeke, about
Hmm.
Demarcus Lawrence, about Dak Prescott. None of them. We were like about CD Lamb. We didn't think about trading them for 1 second. We were like, let's get this deal done. But Micah Parsons, no, we might need to trade him. I don't know if we can sign him. Just bullshit, man.
Dude, imagine if we were from Boston, bro. Bro, we'd be living like every year, man.
Oh, Joe, I would
Championship
hate winning.
every single year, bro. And you'd
I
have the
don't.
Bruins who'd have a few chokes, but they have a title. You'd have the
Yeah,
Patriots. I mean, they've obviously had just come out of a dynasty. You'd have the Celtics who are just now NBA champions. And then you'd have the Red Sox who have won, 4 titles in the past 2 decades. I mean, we'd be living, man.
we would be living. We would be cold, but we would be living, and
We'd be cold, yeah.
that might be the price that should have been paid. So tough, man. So tough. But I guess that'll end the 214 Sports Show for this week, episode 56, the Sergey Zubov episode. Um, we really appreciate you tuning into this episode and hearing us kind of just talk through
Hearing
um,
us vent.
one of the worst weeks in Dallas sports history, one of the worst months in Dallas sports history as of right now. It doesn't feel like the Luka trade was basically 2 weeks ago, 1.5 weeks ago. It feels like a month ago. So really appreciate y'all tuning in and being able to hear us talk about this. If you want to hear more about us, you can subscribe, like, share, comment all of that on our YouTube page or our Spotify page. That'll be at 214 Sports Show. And if you want to hear some extra news, extra analysis, any of that, be able to hear when our episodes are up, which, by the way, every Thursday at 11. That will be on our Instagram, our Twitter/X, and our TikTok. That will be at the 214 Sports Show. And Joe, do you want to give a quick shout out to your socials real quick?
I absolutely would love that. Um, at Joseph underscore Duffy 99 on Instagram, and then also the same on Twitter, formerly, well, actually, X, formerly Twitter. It'll be back one day. I've never given up hope. It's going to be Twitter again.
I think it's going to be Twitter one day
I
too.
hope one day. At
You can
Joseph
follow me on
underscore,
Twitter/X at TJ.Krylowitz. Or sorry, TJ_Krylowitz. And then on Instagram at TJ.Krylowitz. We really appreciate you tuning in this week. We hope to see you again next week, and hopefully it'll be a better episode to talk about. We'll have some positives. But for now, we hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Go Dallas Sports, and we'll see you next week.